What is the most unethical profession? Media outlets that take money from interest groups or owned by specific people and espouses their talking points instead of reporting the factual truth. This is extremely dangerous to our democracy. Payday loans. Want a loan with 600% interest? My job just partnered with a company to advance your check if needed. The company has all of our info such as hourly rate and time clock punches. If you make 10 an hour and have 80 hours of punches, they will give you an $800 advance. No interest, but they don't take out taxes. Girl I work with had been taking an advance every 2 weeks because you make more money this way. I told her she's getting ducked in April, but she doesn't believe me. LOL. I have a friend who was being paid as an independent contractor and apparently didn't know he had to pay taxes on the money himself. He got paid very well, but spent all the money immediately on dumb shit like going out to bars and buying shit for girls he wanted to impress. Our mutual friend offered to help teach him some financial responsibility and figure out how to pay his taxes, but last I heard he kept refusing. I had a friend who was blind. He kept trusting the wrong people to help him buy his groceries, cash, and paying his rent without receiving a receipt. Needless to say, he probably lost thousands of dollars and was evicted for not paying rent when he had. Husband and I offered to be sort of executors, aka money managers for free. Friend verbally agreed and we drew up a contract for him to sign and get notarized. It simply said we would help him pay his bills and help him shop. He would be 100% in control. The day he was supposed to sign he disappeared, changed his number and his address. I lost contact and did not see him for years. I worked in the payday loan industry for a minute. Legal money sharks who prey on folks with poor credit to borrow money at insane interest rates 700 plus. Here's how it works. You need to borrow $700 until your next payday. On your payday 2 weeks from now you will need to pay back $854, $700 plus interest. If you don't have $854 to part ways within 2 weeks, no problem. Simply pay the interest $154 and roll over to the next payday. Still don't have $854 on your next payday? Cool. Just pay the interest and roll it over another 2 weeks. You could roll it 3 times before we asked for the full amount. The place that I worked at would allow customers to take out a new loan after that 3rd roll to start the process all over. This place had customers who had been stuck in this cycle for years. I worked there in 2008 for about 5 months. Christmas came and the big boss asked why our default numbers people past due on their payments were so high. I said, if I were in our customers' shoes, I would be buying presents for my kids and trying to feed my family instead of paying on this loan. He grunted and snarled at me. Then I gave my notice. When I graduated high school and started working where my dad worked, I thought it was decent money, so I wondered why our family always seemed broke. Well, he was paying for a timeshare, a storage unit, a payday loan, and $300 a month in cigarettes. I bought and built a shed to get the junk out of storage, got out of the timeshare, and eventually paid off the loan for him. Absolutely predatory, but most people are awful at budgeting. I recently went through a situation wherein someone close to me had their car repossessed, and I came away fully believing that system to be one of preying on poor people. I'll refer to them and Jenny below. Jenny recently moved and forgot to change their car loan auto pay and missed 2 monthly payments about $600. Definitely their mistake, but an honest one. The money was there, but the system was in motion. Guys showed up to take the car. Jenny realized the mistake and called the bank. The bank said they couldn't accept payment because the account was frozen, so they had to let the guys take the car. Car is taken. Then the bank explains the process. The entire remaining balance is due within 30 days or the car will be auctioned, and any amount of the remaining loan not satisfied by the auction is Jenny's responsibility. That payment had to be made as a bank-to-bank transfer, which according to Bank of America, can only be completed by appointment with a bank manager. Jenny took out a small loan with a different provider to cover the car loan amount, worked to schedule an appointment with BOA to transfer funds to the lender. It took about a week and a half to get the money and pay off the loan. Now, Jenny calls the lender and they confirm the car is paid off and she can pick up her car. The car was towed about 2 hours away the day after being collected. It was then driven an additional 2 hours away, so Jenny would have to arrange a ride to get her car. Oh, and the place is only open MF, and between 8 am 5 pm, so her and I the ride had to take off work to go pick up her car. Once we get to where the car was, there was about a 100 feet to collect it. The gas tank was on empty. There was fast food trash in it that was not there when it was taken, likely left by the driver, and a handful of items were stolen from inside the car. I don't know that I've never been more furious in my life. That industry preys on those that are financially troubled by making it as hard as possible to pay the fees and get the car. One of my coworkers used to be a repo man. One time he was telling me about his tattoo. Often while hooking up the car to tow it, the person would come up to him and say, "Isn't there some way I can get you to not take it?" On his left palm in all caps was tattooed "Pay here." He dropped the car for 100 and tell his boss he didn't find it. I opined that sounded kind of ducked up. He said it was actually way cheaper for them to pay him and maybe have time to fix the situation than it would be to try and get the car repoed from the yard with the bank involved. He's not wrong. Sadly. Edit O. And I forgot the best part. It's tattooed on his left hand because his right hand would be holding a tire iron, in case the person thought violence might be easier. Real class act. Ol William. One of my dad's coworkers was a repo guy, and he says that he quit after he had a job where he literally walked into a house and hauled away the TV as the family's kids were sitting on the couch watching it. After that job, he just didn't have the heart for it. Any profession where the source of your income is scamming the old and or the gullible. Edit voice to text typo. Politicians shouldn't be, but the system makes it really easy for people to forget they are public servants and not out for themselves. MLMs for sure. They prey on the poor and desperate. Nearly joined an MLM this year without realizing. I feel bad for the young people who get sucked in. Like a staff who interviewed me who I found out was actually younger than me by a few years. The stuff they say to get you on board is too good to be true levels of absurdity. Join us to help sell water tanks and you learn 400 per sale. The more sales you make a month, you can earn up to 6,000 a month. I 22 male think what killed any hope of me joining was when they just devalued all my work experience prior by saying the skills I learned in my industry retail won't help in the long run. But this job will. Sorry assholes. But not sorry. Prosperity preachers. Maybe not the most, but rent-to-own companies are up there. Depends on what it is. Rent-to-own musical instruments is usually great for kids starting out at elementary school. You pay a little more than the instrument is worth, but you can give it back to the store if the kid decides not to continue, or continue renting until it's owned. The place my parents got an instrument for me didn't charge interest at all. It was well worth it. Televangelists. Easy. They're confidence men. And true pieces of shit. Looking at you, Jolima garbage ducking personstein. Mediums and psychics who capitalize on the pain and grief their clients feel from losing someone they love. I will help you communicate with your dead loved one for 200 an hour. The Gappy Pitito SP case was so ducked up with all the TikTok psychos. Oh, I'm sorry. Psychics posting videos saying she was speaking to them from beyond the grave. Edited, removed the word fake because you guys in the comments are right. Also, there is not apostrophe in psychos. I'm sorry for committing this mortal sin. One of my old friends suffers from schizophrenia and she's spent thousands of pounds speaking with a psychic. It's not even a real person. Just a text service that costs 1.50 per message. And it's always some bullshit. She'll ask a question and always get some stock answer in reply like what you wish will be yours. As soon as you address the elephant in the room. I begged her to stop texting the service. But she's suggestible and extremely vulnerable. And these people are more than happy to take advantage of her and take her money. I wish whoever is profiting from her vulnerability and excruciating death. Convince her you are a psychic, but send her to a toll-free number with automated stock responses. You can't fix her, but you can save her some money. The people who scam old people all day pretending to be from Microsoft. If you want some sweet revenge, look up Jim Browning on YouTube. He intentionally clicks the scams and calls them, and lets them access his computer. He then reverse accesses their computer, so he can take full control of their computer unknowingly, and gains access to their finances and everyone they've scammed, and sometimes even their computer cameras and security cameras. And then he reports them to the cyber police. Link to his channel link. We've been trying to reach you concerning your vehicle's extended warranty. Televangelist. Beware of the false prophets, who come to you in sheep's clothing, but inwardly are ravenous wolves. Matthew 7:15. Have you ever met a real wolf? I have, and they are light years better people than televangelists. Outbound Sales call center worker. You are literally told to lie to make sales, especially to older people. I once worked in a call center, and it was for a catalog, so not actual cold calling, but definitely trying to make sales out of nowhere. Anyway, I get a call one day, and having a lovely chat with her for ages, and putting stuff in her basket to send for her to try and get. Son comes home mid-call and starts telling me how she has dementia and is getting these calls, making orders and forgetting them, then forgetting to send them back, all while getting distressed about it because she can't remember anything, and they were in the process of legal action to try stop the calls and spending. After he hung up, I asked my boss what to do, and she said to just send it through. I felt like the worst person after that, and the whole job just broke me. I left not long after that. Call centers are actual cesspits. I used to buy, trade and sell trading cards. It seemed unethical cause you'd always be trying to get an amazing deal from people, and especially kids. If someone didn't know the price of the card, you'd still haggle with them to get it even lower. I remember one of my buddies getting 3 cards worth $150 each for about 30 cause the guy didn't know the price had spiked a couple of hours ago. What caused such a sudden market flux? Sometimes they announce a new card that makes existing cards really good. Imagine if they made a card that said discard Usilosaurus, you win the game. All existing copies of Usilosaurus would suddenly become 1/2 of a game-winning combo, no matter how useless the card was before. Timeshare sales marketing. Paparazzi. They follow famous people around and harass them until they snap and yell at them for profit. Was in LA grabbing some pizza late at night, and I think Demi Lovato or Selena Gomez was exiting some upscale restaurant right in front of it. Nearly got into a fight with some paparazzi because they thought I was trying to beat them to the photos. Complete scumbags. That's the most LA thing I've heard. People who own private prisons. Payday loan worker. Nigerian prince. People who go door to door trying to make you switch providers. It's a scam that preys on old people. Whoever decided medical costs, like Senator Joe Manchin's daughter who increased the price of EpiPens from $50 to $600. Her name is Heather Bresch, and she is scum. Catalytic converter salesman. Most of these are criminal or borderline criminal professions. Here's the most unethical legal job: medical insurance executive. Human traffickers, assassins, warlords, torturers and dictators. Warlord and torturer are professions. Like, what's the career path to do those? Maths. NFT sellers are huge scam artists and no one talks about it. Definition of hack frauds. I'm a bartender. I frequently find myself questioning whether my profession is ethical, leaning no. Hitman or child sex trafficker come to mind. What if you hire a hot man to kill a child sex trafficker? I'd settle for an average looking one given what he's being paid to do. Whatever grabastic piece of amphibian shit is in charge of Reddit's video servers. Crystal healers, homeopathic remedy makers, or others that use pseudoscience and superstition instead, or medical products and procedures that are proven. Co-founder and chief executive officer of Facebook.